I'm going to show you how to make my favorite chocolate chip cookie. It's actually a chocolate chunk oatmeal walnut cookie, and it's my favorite go-to cookie recipe, and I hope you'll like it as well. So let's start with the ingredients. In this bowl, I have 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. In this bowl, I have 3/4 cup firmly packed light brown sugar. In this bowl, I have 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 sticks softened butter, 2 eggs. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 1/4 cup of oats, 1 cup chopped walnuts, 3/4 pound of chopped semi-sweet chocolate. You can also use bittersweet chocolate. And if you don't want to chop your own chocolate, you can also use chocolate chips for this. So the first thing we're going to do is cream the butter and the sugars together. So to my mixing bowl, I've added the 2 sticks of softened butter, the brown sugar, and the granulated sugar. And I'm now going to cream those I'm going to cream the butter and the sugars on medium-high speed until it's light and fluffy. That will take about 3 minutes. In a mixing bowl, I've creamed the 2 sticks of softened butter, the 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and the 3/4 cup of light brown sugar for about 3 minutes until they combined and are light and fluffy. And this is what it now looks like. So I'm going to scrape down the bowl and then add the vanilla and the eggs. So in a mixing bowl, I have creamed the 2 sticks of butter with the 3/4 cup of light brown sugar and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. I've beat those on medium-high speed for about 3 minutes until the sugars and the butter incorporated and became light and fluffy. And this is what it looked like. So now I'm going to turn the mixer on to low speed, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla and the eggs. Okay, my mixer is on low, and I've just added 2 teaspoons of vanilla to the mixer, and I'm now going to add my eggs one at a time. Okay, I've added my eggs, and I'm just going to wait for them to be incorporated into the butter sugar mixture. So the eggs are now fully incorporated into the mixture, and I have scraped down the bowl once again. So now it's time to add the flour. And before I add the flour, I'm actually going to mix the oats into the flour. Now again, that's 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I've mixed those together so they're combined. I'm now going to add the 1 1/4 cups of oats to that flour mixture. Just going to give that a quick stir to combine the flour and the oats. And now I'm going to turn my mixer on low. And I'm going to slowly incorporate the flour. Basically, I'm putting a little bit of the flour mixture in at a time, and I'm waiting for it to be incorporated before I add the next batch. So one more bit of the flour oat mixture. And that's that. You don't want to overmix it, so it's important just to wait for it to be incorporated and then stop. I've taken the cookie dough off the mixer, and now what I'm going to do is, with a rubber spatula, just fold in the walnuts and the chocolate. So that's the walnuts, and now I'm going to add the chocolate. That looks good. This is what it looks like in the end. So you've got your cookie dough, your chocolate chunks, and your walnuts all incorporated. And then all you have to do is roll the dough into about tablespoon sized balls and put them on a cookie sheet. You can also freeze them. They freeze beautifully if you put them in a freezer bag after you've made them into balls. And it's actually great because then you can just take as many cookies out as you want at a time and bake them. You don't have to bake an entire batch if you don't need to. So for this batch of cookies, I actually am going to make them into balls and freeze them so that I'll have cookies on hand if guests come over or if I just want a midnight snack. But I am going to bake one now just to show you what I do, because there is one secret ingredient right before you bake the cookies that is optional, but I think it really brings out the chocolate. And it's a little unusual, but bear with me. So here's my lone little cookie that I'm going to bake, and I'm going to sprinkle it with fleur-de-sel sea salt. Just a few flakes. I know it seems strange, but that hit of saltiness with the sweetness of the chocolate, it really, really works. So I encourage you to give it a try. So I'm going to pop this little cookie into the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. And then I'll keep an eye on it and it should be done. So my lone cookie has made its way out of the oven. Again, it was cooking at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. And there it is. Might have to taste it, right? Hmm. It's my favorite cookie for a reason. I'm really speechless. It's that good. And again, that little kick of sea salt on the top really enhances and brings out the chocolate. So I hope you'll give it a try. And thanks for watching.